If the committee would, well, let me call the higher ed committee together. Note we have a quorum present and online, and just ask the members to stand at ease for just a moment for us. Okay, good afternoon, or yeah, it seems like afternoon. Apologies for the delay for everybody. If Jimmy Buffett were here, he would say it was 8 o'clock somewhere. So we're going to get moving today on our proposition this morning, House Bill 1435. I'm going to, if there's not objection, I'm going to try to present the change from the chair since we're thin on in-person participants this morning, and move us along because we do have rules. We do have rules at 9 o'clock, and so we'll get started. We're letting additional members in out of the waiting room now in our Zoom meeting. So bear with us for our technology update. The first thing I want to do this morning is explain the committee has a substitute bill, and I want to explain the only change that was made in the bill since it was last presented to you. And I'll draw the committee's attention to line 41 and 42 on page 3. When the bill was originally drafted, you see the change on line 42. It said, in accordance with this subpart of the rules and regulations of the commission. That was added language to current law as part of this. Previously, we had stricken to be the most appropriate for the particular qualified institution and its student population. That was stricken. We added that back. So in your substitute, the sentence would actually read, starting on line 40, the commission may provide for the individualized eligibility criteria and grant amounts as determined to be the most appropriate for the particular qualified institution and its student population in accordance with this subpart and the rules and regulation of the commission. We added that previously stricken language back because we thought it fully it made a more full description of what we were looking for in the GAP grant. That is the only change that we have made to this substitute, and I'd ask the committee if they have questions in regards to that change. Anyone have a question? I think somebody say, there you go. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
Unfortunately, I just received this document.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I didn't come back into the to the Capitol until yesterday afternoon, and I saw it, but I didn't have the actual document.
Yes, ma'am.
And unfortunately, y'all just had a huddle over in the corner, and I was trying to find out why was this document being messed with at this time. Had I known that, then maybe I can agree with what you're saying, that this is being added back. But I did ask my colleague if she could explain to me what was going on. Yes. But all of you huddled in the corner. Of course, I was not invited to huddle. So right now I cannot, I have no reasoning as to anything as to why this is being brought to us.
Fair enough. And let me try to address the lady's questions, and you're always welcome. The reason we were talking with the attorney is the three folks that were talking with the attorney had come to me this morning, and they're all friends of mine, as you are, ma'am. And I gave them a bit of an admonition. I say that in fun, and that they had changes that they would like to be considered this morning unrelated to this. So they were speaking with the attorney, and we're going to get to that shortly. But this change was simply language that was stricken before, when the bill was created. We added in accordance with this subpart, and before the language that said to be appropriate for the particular institution was stricken. It really needed to be both, because we want to give each institution the ability to determine for their institution and their student population what is particularly qualified. So I'll give the lady plenty of time, and I suspect we may be headed this morning, based on where I'm going next, that we'll share this across the committee, and the committee may wish to hold this over. We have a meeting at 1 o'clock tomorrow. I'm certainly welcome. I welcome to do this. We're going to do everything absolutely in the open about this. But give the lady time to look at that. But again, I will say in the original version of the bill, the language that was stricken was to be most appropriate for the particular qualified institution and student population. And we felt like that was language that we wanted to have in the bill because we wanted the direction to the commission to be to allow each institution to work with their qualified students as they see fit on an institution by institution, because this is a grant program to help people cross the finish line that are 80% complete, and one size does not fit all. So that's why we do that. But we'll give the lady plenty, and all the members of the committee plenty of time to ingest that change. If that's good for the lady, at this point, I have a question from Mr. Representative Park. Can I go to that and come back? Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Representative Park.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And so just as to the change made to the bill, to me, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but is it not true that that would simply provide our institutions of higher education greater discretion and flexibility to implement this bill?
That was the intent, Representative. Absolutely. That when it was originally drafted, the attorney just thought we were supplanting that language with in accordance with the subpart, and we wanted it to be, we wanted it to go hand in glove, if you will, to give them the absolute opportunity to fit their student population and institution.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Representative Clark.
Yes, also to the change in the bill, is there any way that, I like the change, but I am concerned, is there any way that students will know or students will have, I guess, any information ahead of time if an institution is going to participate in this? Because I think if we're giving the institutions kind of a, the ability to decide if they want to participate or how they want to participate in this, that a student who is 80% of the way through their credits might find that their institution has decided not to participate, and then they find themselves in a situation where there is tuition assistance out there, it's just not there for them. Is that a concern at all?
Based on the feedback, and thank the lady for the question. Based on the feedback I've gotten, there are people that want to participate in this that are not yet included. So I don't mean to make light of the lady's question, but I believe every institution that has an opportunity to be included will make this available to their students. But I'm going to look at. I see representatives from TSG and the USG system and student finance. President Riley's there. I think the intent would be to have information available on a per institution basis that this is available. I think it would be spread wide and deep, if you will, in terms of the availability. Is that not true? You can't see Representative Clark, but I'm getting nods from all of those the folks that I mentioned, that your point is well taken, and that we need to make this available. I guess to further answer your question, if I would, we can't make an institution participate. Well, I guess we could make the system office could make the university system components participate, and I guess we could make TCSG participate through law, but I don't suspect we would have to do that. But we'll take that under advisement that we do need to make far and wide notification.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am. Number 25.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can we go back to lines 31, 32 and talk about nonprofit post-secondary institutions being included? I know that Ms. Riley has a list, and I got a little caught in that, and I'm
yeah, and if I can, if I may, I mean, the aforementioned huddle that the lady referred to was on behalf of three members of the committee this morning that didn't bring to our attention. We actually talked briefly about last time we had testimony about the private not-for-profit institutions being included. What I had mentioned before is it was originally drafted without them in because of the implementation timeframe. I wanted to make sure we could get it up and running. As the chief sponsor of the bill and the chair of this committee, I'm not opposed to that. This grant is for the students, not the institutions.
Right.
The huddle, if you will, the discussion was, how could we make that happen? We may be able to do that this morning, but if the will of the committee, I'll just take the sense of the committee. If the sense of the committee is that we would like to include not-for-profit private institutions in this, I think we might be best served to hold this over to do the language, make sure we don't make a mistake in that language, and bring this back at 1 o'clock for our meeting tomorrow. Now that does put us another day, maybe 2 behind. So I would ask, all the members of the committee to make sure you attend tomorrow, help us get the bill out if that is your will and your voting your conscience does so. But that was what we were discussing about how we could include private not-for-profit institutions in that. So if that answers the lady's question, I have another one. I want to take that and then take the sense of the committee of where we would go next. Number 29.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. GMC is an independent public school. Their students can get tuition equalization grant, but they are not a private school. So do they automatically fit in, or would they need to be added specifically?
Let me see if I can get that. Let me just direct the question to, well, let me direct it to our attorney. I believe as defined on line 31 and 32, the Georgia Military College would they fit into that definition, or would they not, as the bill is written today? Yes,
It's
ma'am.
13. As it's currently defined, no, I don't think they would fit in.
Okay.
In 31 and 32.
Okay, so we would need to make that change if it be the will of the committee to include them as well. Number 23.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to apologize to you for this late date. I appreciate your openness to amend this bill to include not-for-profit private. And thank you for listening to us this morning. And again, I did sit through a meeting and did not voice my concerns with that, but thank you for listening and wanting to try to get this bill perfected. And we just got a good system up here. Sometimes it's we get in a big hurry up here and a lot of things juggling. So thank you. I know you've got a real passion for this bill, for the students in it, wherever they might be going to school. So thank you for this bill. I'm very supportive of it and your hard work on this. So whatever Chair would like to do with this as far as time frame, I'm with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 25.
If
Yes, ma'am.
it's appropriate, could I propose language to be added?
Look, can I take further questions
Sure.
and then we'll come back to you? Thank you.
Absolutely, Mr.
He waved. Okay, I'm sorry. We had a question online and then he waved. I think to address the lady's point, since this, I don't like to, in full committee here, we do things. I'm not saying I wouldn't take an amendment, but we meet tomorrow. And as the lady mentioned earlier, there are people online that would do that. So is it a sense of the committee? Let me ask the committee, is there a sense of the committee that we take time if if members of the committee wish to amend the bill to include not-for-profit privates? I'm trying to figure out how to ask this. Is a sense of a committee that we would rather do that and have a bill in front of you to look at tomorrow, since this is a measure that'll impact thousands of Georgians. Does anyone object to holding this over? I guess it's and making this amendment and coming back tomorrow, that we would be in a shape that we would take this bill. And I'm going to ask the lady and the gentleman to, prepare an amendment for the bill that would be in writing that we could bring to the committee, and we'll act on your amendment accordingly. I would prefer to do that. I think that in the sense of being, open and everybody to make sure that we get it right, include the institutions that we want. If there's not objection, I'm going to put Dean Smyrie on the focus here. Dean, does that make sense to you to do it in writing so that we know what we're voting on? This is important to a lot of people. Yeah, yes, sir. That I know you've done this for many years and done well by the people of Georgia, and your sense to that would be my sense. If there's not objection, I'm glad we met this morning, so we got this out, or we'd be sitting here at 1 o'clock tomorrow doing it. But I thank everybody for coming. If there's not further questions about this, let me just say we are going to try to move this. If someone has an issue, we will be working tomorrow from LC 50-0376S, and we'll be working with that bill, and we're going to be in the posture where we're going to work from that bill. If you have an amendment you want to bring it as an amendment to that bill, and then we'll if that amendment's adopted, we'll create a sub and go to rules. Does that make sense? Online, number 26.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
It wasn't that I was trying to be disrespectful. The problem is that I was just seeing this after I arrived to my office about 10 minutes. And I thought what you said is logical, but my thing is that what you did could have been done right here when we started the meeting. So I become concerned when I see everybody moving and I'm sitting here and I'm not privy to what is the conversation may be affected, and I am a part of this committee.
Yes, ma'am. And let me, and I took no offense to your remarks. I took took them as advisement that I think when I wake up every morning, I look at what I do well, what I don't do well, and what I can get better at, and what I can get better at in that case is making clear to everybody that everybody was welcome on that, because we were trying to develop a go forward plan that would be open and honest. So please know that I took no offense to that, and I appreciate the ladies' comments related to that. It helps us be a better working group in the committee, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to take this carryover. I would, again ask. It sounds like the Representative Williams down there and Representative Mathiak, you have amendments that might work together. So make sure we don't step on each other, if you will, when you're bringing the amendments. Maybe draft one together if you can do them. I know Chairman Dickey is also interested in that. So if we could do that, we'll be in good shape to do that. I also want to mention that we'll get an email out this afternoon. There'll be a couple of other items that are not in position as we sit this morning to have been heard, because they have not come out of the House hopper yet. But there's a couple items that we will hear for the first time on Wednesday that were dropped late that the committee may wish to take a look at. So with that, if there's no further comment or question, then there's no objection, we'll stand adjourned. We'll stand adjourned without objection.